Minister Ismail Vadi, member of the Executive Council, the Department of Road and Transport, Province of Gauteng, South Africa. Welcome. Could you tell us how is South African experience in ITS systems relevant to traffic challenges found in the Gulf region?
I think they're very relevant. ITS has not been on the radar screens for a number of years, but since the Soccer World Cup that we had in 2010, it has come onto the radar screen. We're thinking much more carefully about applying ITS to transport solutions and the broader transport challenges. These are really, traffic jams are a major issue in our country. Quality of life is impeded on because people are sitting for a long time in the cars and with traffic jams and those kinds of things. Sometimes up to 2 hours going to work and sometimes much longer coming back from work. So ITS, I think, has helped us to begin to overcome some of the challenges. In the Gulf region specifically, I'm just looking at Riyadh. At peak hours, it's a nightmare traveling here. There are really major challenges in terms of traffic congestion, etc. I'm sure they've got fairly advanced systems, but I have no doubt that ITS can help us to alleviate some of these problems, ease the congestion, and actually allow for speedier mobility.
Thank you. Well, from your personal experience here at the World Meeting in Riyadh, it featured a number of sessions on ITS-related topics. Was there any particular message or example of technological innovation that struck you as particularly promising?
No, absolutely. I think that one of the earlier sessions I went to really looked at future trends, and I've learned some new concepts that I've never heard of before. Idea of a car that is self-operated. It's just mind-boggling to imagine how such a car will operate, what are legal consequences if there's an accident, who's liable, who's not liable. So there are important issues that have been raised. Of course, data. Increasingly much more data is being generated through transport systems and also from actual usage of the transport network. And that should help us for better planning. So you don't want to collect data for the sake of collecting data. Data must be an instrument or tool that you can use for forward planning. So I think some very new concepts have emerged. Of course, we are still trying to get up to speed to get the systems up and running, but obviously technology is advancing and there are new issues emerging. And I think it was good for us just to broaden the horizon and to begin to think ahead of time, actually.
And you mentioned these examples. Are there any practical illustrations that you see that you could already start applying also in your province of Gauteng?
Look, I've been through the exhibition that is there in this conference center. There are useful technologies there. Of course, there are innovations coming up all the time. We've got a reasonably well-developed ITS industry in South Africa that is well connected with the major players internationally. But of course, I saw some innovations here that we could begin to think about more carefully, particularly around the issues of road safety, which is an important area.
Well, Mr. Minister, I just witnessed your speech, your presentation in a very interesting session, to be honest. You mentioned your government's 25-year master plan. How do you think it could benefit other economies, whether they're emerging or not? And does it matter whether they plan to host a large sporting event like the 2010 FIFA World Cup that you had the experience with?
Look, I think forward planning is absolutely vital. Transport infrastructure costs a lot of money, and if you lay out the infrastructure in an area that over time might not be an area of need, it becomes wasteful expenditure. So because you're spending billions of rands, you really need to begin to plan much more carefully for the future. Two, what experience can we share? I think South Africa is a developing nation. We have, I think, a lot of experience to share with countries in Africa, and we can learn a lot from the MENA region. There are massive projects that are being rolled out. Some of them, on scale that we can't comprehend at this stage. But of course, those experiences are important for us because we're looking a lot around rail, a lot of investment in terms of rail, in terms of freight and logistics, very big projects that we are planning to roll out. And we can learn from some of the best practices we've seen here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So I think it's a mutual thing. We learn from other people, but there's something that South Africa has to offer to other countries as well.
Well, Minister Ismail Vadi, member of the Executive Council at the Department of Roads and Transport for the province of Gauteng in South Africa, thank you very much for your time.